Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the support. So today we'll be talking something very important. It's about a video that I saw, and it's about British presenters asking Guyana president what he thinks about slavery and the reparations and all that. And I am in shock. The attitude the presenters are even showing up while asking the questions. And why is it that each time they want to gaslight themselves, they look for a way to bring somebody, people that experience slavery, and start asking them, why do you people want reparations when you people were not the first, were not the ones that experienced slavery and all that? And each time they ask this question, I ask myself, why is it that they go around manipulating and gaslighting themselves with attitude too? Asking why do we need to pay reparation? If you think there is no need to pay reparation, why do you go around asking this question all the time? And then he went up further to ask, should we give you the palace? Yes, bring that palace, and also return all the stolen things you all stole from people, because you all want to gaslight yourself all the damn time and tell us there is no need for reparations, and because you were not the ones that did it, it was your ancestors. So pay the descendant of slavery what you all owe them, because it is long overdue. And stop going around and asking people some stupid, because I call that stupid questions. And now that Guyana president, he really did a great job, because he was asking them, you all are so quick to help some certain kind of people when they need help. That is Ukraine, the way they were so quick to help them. They never helped any Africans. They never helped all these things that has been going on and all that. They never invested that kind of money into them. You know what? Let's get into this.
OK, let me ask you a question, Mr. President, on behalf of all of our viewers who would be covered by this. Why should somebody who maybe had an ancestor 7 or 8 generations ago, long before they were a twinkle in their great-great-great-great-grandparents' eye, why should they have to pay now for what an ancient ancestor did? Or why should they apologise for what an ancestor did centuries ago? Why do they still carry that burden?
Oh, it's not a burden at all. You are one of the beneficiaries of that slave trade. So this is not a burden. You should be concerned, and you should pay, because you today are still benefiting from the greatest indignity to a human being, and that is the slave trade. And not only did you benefit during the slave trade and your country developed, but look at what it caused the developing world. During slavery, resources was used to build your country, build up your capacity. You were able to then become competitive. You were able to invest in mechanization, and developing countries like ours were left behind. So you should be very concerned, because you are a prime beneficiary of the exploits of slavery.
So put a figure on it, please, because it always comes down to the bottom line. How much should an individual taxpayer in a country like the UK be signing a cheque to a country like yours, Ghana?
Well, it's easy to calculate. We can use the time value of money. You can look at the period of slavery and the contribution well, not the contribution, the extraction of wealth from countries like ours, and how it was utilized to build your society, build your country, create wealth in your country, and then add the time value of money, and you will get the value. There's a lot of research paper on this. A lot of universities would have done paper on this. There's enough literature to tell us what that value is. But I want to say that it is not only the value, it is the loss of time. It is a loss of competitiveness. It is a loss of human dignity. It is a loss of our education system. It is the culture that we lost. It is all of this indignity that surrounded slavery that we must consider.
I just wonder, people will be wondering what, you explained that there are calculations, but are you able to say in what measure that would be? I mean, are we talking billions, millions? What would you expect the payout to be, and over what period of time? Well,
this year in Guyana, we commemorate the the 200th anniversary of the Demerara Rebellion. And it took 200 years to get an apology from one of the families. I don't believe that you would want us to wait 200 years for reparative justice and for us to take this conversation forward. CARICOM would have set out a 10-point plan on what should constitute reparative justice and what should constitute reparation. And the calculation goes into billions for the region.
How far back, though, do we have to go on this? Because you make the point, we're talking exclusively here about Western imperialistic slavery, to summarise it. But almost every civilization on the planet owes its existence and its prosperity almost always to crimes in the past, be they aggressive wars, be they different forms of slavery involving different movements of population. You can go right back to the Greeks and the Romans. Why just target one particular era in history? Some would say that's the arguments of political convenience. It's a handy handle to hang your argument on.
I think you're doing a great injustice to compare slavery with any other of the historical facts that you're mentioning.
I was including other forms of slavery. No, but I was including other examples of slavery as well.
To the indignity that slavery brought to people, that is the first thing. And I'll give you an example. Coming on to your program a few moments ago, you were speaking about net zero and climate justice. We are speaking about, the world is speaking today about climate justice and compensation and how we address the issues of climate change. And this is the problem. We live in a very unjust society. You know, we condemn completely the war in Ukraine. But if you look at the mobilization of resources in the war in Ukraine, in 2 years, you have mobilized more support for Ukraine than we have mobilized for Haiti for 60 years. You have mobilized more support for Ukraine than we have mobilized for Palestine for 20 years. You have mobilized more support for Ukraine in just 1.5 years than we mobilized to address the issue of hunger in Africa for 3 years. And that is the type of unjust way we have been dealing with these crises. And we are not going to tolerate the injustice that occurred during slavery to be compared with any other system. Slavery, we all agree, was the greatest injustice ever done to human beings. So we should not ever try to compare this to any other system.
No.
There is no other system that has created greater injustice than slavery and indignity to humankind in slavery.
Well, but very briefly, coming back to where we came in, one of the points you're going to be making today is about our royal family. And you feel that it's not just about the finances involved here in terms of reparations for slavery, it's about the gestures. And you think that the British royal family should make a big gesture, don't you? What do you mean? Hand over a palace to your country?
Well, no, we don't want the British to hand over a palace that we built. You know, if you go into many of the palaces in Britain, you will see the lovely green heartwood from Guyana. You will see the sweat, tears, and blood of the slaves who were exploited.
So what do you want?
And the revenue that was earned from their exploitation. So we're not asking for a palace. We're asking for justice and a fair form of justice to the ancestors and to the greatest injustice that has ever been done to human beings.
Okay, I absolutely enjoy this. But then let me tell you all something. I don't know why they keep going around asking people questions like, what do you think about reparations? Why do we have to pay reparations? Why are they always looking for a way to ask some silly questions? And they always want to, like, make themselves look good. Like, we're not the ones that own slaves and all that. And we're not the only ones that own slaves and all that. I mean, all of you that own slaves, that the slaves worked for, I mean, to this very moment, you people are still enjoying the sweats from the slavery and all that. And you all wake up every day to gaslight yourself, not even people. Gaslight yourselves and ask, should we hand over the palace? Hand us over the palace. Hand it to us. We'll know what to do with it. Hand it to us. I mean, it's time they knew that they did something horrible, but they keep running around because they do not want to agree to it. And now, like that young man said, like, British government, like the aid that they have given to Ukraine and some other countries has never for a day been given to some countries that are going through crisis. Why? Because they are part of the problem. Why do they want to us? I mean, it's really crazy how they wake up every day to ask some silly questions, and they think that the repayment is not overdue. It is that repayment is overdue. That reparation is a must, and it is something that they shouldn't be arguing every day. They should just pay straight up. When they want to gaslight you, they tell you we're not the people that we are going to pay the money to are not even the descendant of slave. The first descendant, we're not even the ones that experienced slavery, but you all are still benefiting from. I mean, if my uncle and my aunt or my parents or something or my great-grandparents were the ones that labored for you people, you think I directly or indirectly I am not, that you did not steal from me. You did. So pay the money and stop asking silly questions. Stop going around and also, while you all are planning to pay for the reparations, also return all the stolen things, all the artifacts you all stole from almost everywhere. Everywhere you all enter, you steal something, and then you come out on television to ask people silly questions. The labor and the inhuman that, I mean, the horrible things you people did to human beings during slavery. And now let me even ask you something. You all remember I think that woman, I can't remember where she's from, but she's African American woman, United States, that where she is alive. As at the time they were asking for them to pay them their reparations, because all this while they've been saying that you ones were not the ones that experienced slavery, but the ones that experienced slavery are still around. And they were asked, they've been going to court from one court to another, and eventually they said that the court has barred them from even bringing up the case or bringing up that, like, that tells you how racist these people are, how evil the things they did to their fellow human being. And they wake up every day to ask you, why do we need to pay for reparations? You must pay that reparations whether you like it or not, because you all are still enjoying the fruit of everything that came out from that slavery. It's just really, I think it's really gaslighting and manipulation each time they wake up to ask, why do we have to pay for it? It's a very horrible thing to ask, and I hate seeing them ask these questions and hoping for you to like tell them that there is no need to pay for the reparations, because like, why do we have to pay the reparations? See you all in my next video. Bye for now.